gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Miss Brianne, and welcome back to the Preschool Story Hour. And this is the afternoon preschool storytime session where all my preschool friends join me 3 times a month for some great stories and songs and chants and these cool activities. So, and I said before, every month we pick a different theme to choose our stories from, and for the month of August we are choosing the beach. So think of all the fun things you can do on the beach. I will give you a minute. Alright, as I mentioned before, there are many different fun activities to do at the beach, so everybody can choose what their favorite. Now I got some cool books to read to you today, but first we are going to do our welcome song. So, just to let you know, our welcome song, The More We Get Together, is from the pamphlet, The Very Ready Reading Program, which is published by Upstart. And you know the drill, I always sing along first, and then all my friends join me the second time around. So are we ready to begin? Alright, follow along on your song sheets. Are we ready? Here we go. The more we get together, 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 the more we get together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause your friends are my friends and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. Everybody, the more we get together, 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 the more we get together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause your friends are my friends and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. Alright, good job, boys and girls. Alright, so as you've seen before, we have our 4 books that we are going to read for the month of August. And we have Ladybug Girl at the Beach, Summer Wonders, Beach Day, and Curious George Goes to the Beach. And the book that we read throughout the whole month of August is Summer Wonders, which we will be getting to very shortly. But before we do that, we're going to be singing one of the songs. Well, we're going to be doing one of the chants that we will recite for the month of August. Now, before I go on, I just want to let you know all the songs and chants that you're going to hear today are from the website Pre-K Fun. So if you're interested in this song as well as other similar songs and chants, please click on the web link in the video description. But are we ready? So we have seagulls. Please follow along on your song sheets. Are we ready? Here we go. I like to watch the seagulls playing in the sky, dipping and soaring through the clouds. I wish that I could fly. All right, everybody. I like to watch the seagulls playing in the sky, dipping and soaring through the clouds. I wish that I could fly. All right, boys and girls, it is now time for our first book. And the book that I always read to you is Summer Wonders. So, Summer Wonders. The author is Bob Raczka. Now, the author is the person who writes the words to the story. The illustrator is Judy Stead. And the illustrator is the person who draws the pictures of the story. And then we have the publisher, which is that company that puts the book all together and sends it to the bookstores for them to sell. And the publisher here is Albert Whitman Company. With that being said, are we ready to begin? All right, here we go. Divers, swimmers, Flat Rock Skimmers. Joggers, walkers, sidewalk chalkers. Now isn't it a very cool activity to draw directly on your driveway or sidewalk? Especially since you use chalk, which is really something you may or may not use too often. But it's a lot of fun when you do use it. Marchers, pipers. Remember all the fun parades you would enjoy in the summer, boys and girls? Aren't they neat to watch? Stars and stripers. Remember the 4th of July and all the pretty fireworks? Sliders, swingers, picnic bringers. Readers, rhymers, and boys and girls, I certainly hope you had fun in our summer reading program this year. Tall tree climbers. Growers, weeders, melon eaters. And it's nice to have watermelon this summer, right, boys and girls? It's very delicious and it's sweet. Fanners, sippers, ice cream drippers. And ice cream's another one of my favorite treats in the summer, boys and girls. Is it yours? Combers, rakers. And that's another fun activity at the beach, boys and girls, collecting seashells. Isn't it amazing when you find all those pretty shells hidden in the sand? Neat, huh? Castle makers. Building sand castles is also a lot of fun, right, boys and girls? Gazers, spires, flyers. Summer. And that is the end of the story. Take a minute or two to think about all the fun things you saw in the book and if you would do any of those fun things in the summer, or have you done them already, since summer is nearly over. Alright, now before we move on, I want to show you, if you get this book here at the library, it has a recipe for mini ice pops. So if you want to have a cool treat to make yourself, please follow along in this recipe. It's very simple, and even the youngest person can follow along. But in any event, I hope you enjoyed that story, boys and girls. I certainly enjoyed it. But before we move on, we're going to sing our second song that we've been singing through the whole month of August. And it is called Scoop and Count. Follow along on your song sheets. Are we ready? Okay, here we go. Scoop, scoop, scoop the sand. Scoop it 1, 2, 3. Scooping, 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 scoop and count with me. All right, everybody. Scoop, scoop, scoop the sand. Scoop it 1, 2, 3. Scooping, 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 scoop and count with me. All right. Good job, boys and girls. So, we're going to introduce our next story in a minute. But before we do that, we're gonna have another beach song to sing. Doesn't that sound like fun? And the song is called Take Me Out to the Ocean. And it goes a little something like this. Take me out to the ocean. Take me out to the sea. There goes a starfish and sand dollar. I'm having such fun, I've just got to holler. Oh, it's swim, swim, swim underwater. Catch a ride on a whale, don't fear. For the sea animals are our friends, let's give a great big cheer. All right, boys and girls, everybody join me. Take me out to the ocean, take me out to the sea. There goes a starfish and sand dollar. I'm having such fun, I've just got to holler. Oh, it's swim, swim, swim underwater. Catch a ride on a whale, don't fear. For the sea animals are our friends. Let's give a great big cheer. All right, good job, boys and girls. So, let's move on to our next story. Now, this story is called Curious George Goes to the Beach. The authors are Margaret and H.A. Ray. Now, the original illustration of the Curious George characters themselves was H.A. Ray. And it is illustrated, this book is illustrated in the style of H.A. Ray by Vipa Interactive. And the publisher is the Houghton Mifflin Company. With that being said, are we ready to begin? Here we go. This is George. He lived with his friend, the man with the yellow hat. He was a good little monkey and was always very curious. Today, the man had a surprise for George. He took George to the beach. Isn't the beach fun, boys and girls? They found a spot on the warm sand. Then, another surprise. George saw his friend Betsy. "Look, Betsy," her grandmother said, "it's Curious George." But Betsy did not even smile. She had never been in the ocean before. She was scared. "I know you're a good swimmer," the man told her. "You'll be fine once you get in the water." Feeling better, Betsy walked toward the shore with her grandmother. George helped spread the beach blanket and set aside their lunch. He was looking forward to a picnic, but it was not yet time to eat. So it looks like George has a friend to play with. Isn't that fun, going to the beach when your friends are there and you can have fun and play games and even swim in the ocean together? Certainly sounds like fun to me. It was time to play. In no time, George was having fun. He learned a new game, he dug in the sand, and he made a new friend. Monkeys are good at making friends. When he took a break, George watched the lifeguard. The lifeguard sat in a special chair. Sometimes he blew a whistle. So it looks like George is having a lot of fun, right, boys and girls? And sometimes he looked through binoculars. It looked like fun to be a lifeguard. George was curious. Could he be a lifeguard? Uh-oh. What do you think's going to happen? Do you think George is going to get in trouble like he usually does? Well, let's see. Before long, the lifeguard took a break. Here was George's chance. Watching the crowd from up in the special chair, George felt just like a lifeguard. He looked through the binoculars. There was a lot to see at the beach. Okay, so far so good. He saw seagulls flying high above. He saw Betsy on the shore below. She still had not been in the water. Then the lifeguard saw George. "Hey!" he yelled. "That's no place for a monkey!" George thought it was a fine place for a monkey, but he did not want to cause trouble, so he climbed down. So it looks like the lifeguard got mad at George. But no harm done, right? George just climbed down from the chair. Do you think that's the end of that story? Well, we'll see. Back at the beach blanket, George was hungry for a snack. No one would miss just one cracker, thought George. He took one out and put it on a napkin. It looked good. Now, if only he had some cheese. Uh-oh! What happened to his cracker? What do you think? Do you think somebody took it? Well, let's see. Well, he would just have to get a new one. George found another cracker, then turned back around. But now his cheese was gone! Who could be taking his snacks? George was curious. He put down his cracker and waited. What do you think, boys and girls? Who do you think is taking his snacks? Do you want to find out? Now George saw who was taking his treats. It was a seagull, and he was still hungry. George took out another cracker, and the bird took it right out of his hand. What fun to feed a seagull! George saw more seagulls down by the water. Betsy was there too. George was curious. Could those seagulls be hungry? Uh-oh! What do you think is going to happen, boys and girls? Think he's going to lose his whole lunch? What do you think? Well, let's find out. Indeed, they were hungry. Soon, a whole flock had gathered. George could not feed them fast enough. Luckily, Betsy was glad to help. Out of the basket came more crackers, cookies, a cake, and even the bread for sandwiches. Still, the birds were hungry. But when George reached for more snacks, the basket was gone. He and Betsy were having so much fun, they didn't notice the tide coming in. Uh-oh! What happened to the picnic basket? Well, let's find out. They didn't notice the picnic basket was floating out to sea. George felt bad. He hadn't meant to lose the basket. Could there be a way to catch it? George thought and thought. Then he remembered the lifeguard. George was no lifeguard, but to save the basket, he knew just what to do. Quickly he found a float and carried it to the water. Jumping aboard, George began to paddle. What do you think? Do you think he'll get the picnic basket in time, or will the basket be gone forever? Well, let's read to find out. He paddled out a little farther, and a little farther, and a little farther, until finally he reached the basket. Betsy cheered. Then, as George paddled back to the beach, Betsy swam out to meet him. Everyone was glad to see George safe on the shore. The lifeguard, who had seen everything from his chair, said, "That was some rescue." George felt proud. The man with the yellow hat picked up the basket. He was curious. "George, is this our basket?" he asked. Uh-oh, what do you think's going to happen, boys and girls? Well, let's find out. Poor George. After all that, the basket was empty. There would be no picnic on the beach, and it was all his fault. Then Betsy's grandmother said, "Won't you join us for lunch? We have plenty, and look, now we have a reason to celebrate, thanks to George." They did have a reason to celebrate. Betsy was in the water, and she wasn't scared anymore. She was having fun. After everyone joined Betsy and George for a swim, it was time to eat at last. So it looks like today had a happy ending, right, boys and girls? There were sandwiches and chips, bananas, cookies, and watermelon. There was plenty for everyone. There was even a little for our guests. The end. So, wasn't that a fun story, boys and girls? Isn't it always nice to read about George's adventures, especially at a fun place like the beach? Well, I hope you enjoyed those stories. I certainly enjoyed reading to you. But let's do our little activity. And today's activity is having some relaxing fun with the Play-Doh. So we'll give some time to play, but if you need more time, just feel free to pause this video in between. So, whenever you're ready, you can start. And isn't this a nice way to relax, boys and girls? So you don't have to worry about anything, just play with the Play-Doh and build whatever you like. Or even just move it around. Whatever makes you the happiest, boys and girls. Can't believe summer is almost over. Couple weeks, it's back to school. Isn't that crazy? I'm going to take a little piece out. But think about all the fun you had this summer. Take a minute and think, what did you boys and girls do? Did you go on any fun trips? Did anybody go to summer camp? Did anybody go to the beach or the park? But anyway, it was a lot of fun this summer, right, boys and girls? So I hope you had a great summer. Just going to give it a few more minutes. And we have some, going to give it a few more minutes to play. So just relax and have fun. Just keep playing, boys and girls. All right, we're just going to give it one more minute, and then we will stop. So just one more minute, boys and girls. Alright, so we're going to stop, but as I mentioned before, if you need more time, please feel free to pause this video. But with that being said, let's move on to our next beach-themed song. It is called Sand and Sun, so please follow along these song sheets, and it goes a little something like this. Beach, beach, sand and sun, playing by the sea. Summertime is just for fun, a special time for me. Digging in the sand, happy as can be. Summertime is just for fun, a special time for me. All right, everybody join me. Are we ready? Here we go. Beach, beach, sand and sun, playing by the sea. Summertime is just for fun, a special time for me. Digging in the sand, happy as can be. Summertime is just for fun, a special time for me. All right, good job, boys and girls. I hope you had fun today during our preschool story hour. I certainly had fun. But sadly, it is time to say goodbye. And I know summertime is almost over, but please, if you're able to, please feel free to check out all the rest of our amazing summer programs that myself and the other children's librarians here have to offer at the Westhampton Free Library. So please feel free to check those out. But as of till then, we are going to wrap up with our goodbye song. And it goes a little something like this, so follow along on your song sheet. Hands go up, hands go down, I can turn round and round. I can jump upon two shoes. I can clap and so can you. I can wave, I'll show you how. Story time is done for now. Everybody, hands go up, hands go down. I can turn round and round. I can jump upon two shoes. I can clap and so can you. I can wave, I'll show you how. Story time is done for now. Thank you so much for joining me today, boys and girls. You enjoy the rest of your summer. I will see you soon.